Advancements in technology happen every day, but one category of technological advancement is less visible to the average person, yet has a huge impact on the industry and product management. I'm talking about developer tools and environments, which is really just fancy speak for things that engineers use to do things better or faster. So why are these improvements in these tools important? Well, whenever there's speed and quality advancements in the ways developers can do the work, it has a secondary effect of making other technology and your company's product advance more quickly as well. To understand the latest in mobile development, you'll need to understand how developer tools have changed. Specifically, I'll tell you about 3 older, more common ways, plus one new way developers are making mobile apps. Years ago, you could only make an Android or iOS app by coding them using the appropriate language, Objective-C for iOS and Java for Android. So you would need someone in your team with each of these skills, and any changes you made would have to be sent to the App Store where you'd wait for your users to update their apps to get your changes. This is what's referred to as a true native app. Native because it's made using the native programming language on the operating system it runs on. Given the expense of that method, many people opted to just make mobile version of their website. But since it was just a website using web languages, it wasn't available in the app stores, and it was harder to do fancy mobile graphics and interactions. Years later, tools for developers allowed them to wrap any website code into a native frame and turn finger interactions into mouse clicks that worked effectively with a typical website. That meant you could relatively easily put a real app in the App Store, which would just render your website like a normal browser would. However, you couldn't integrate with the phone hardware, like cameras or sensors. This is referred to as a web view application because it's displaying things just like a web browser. Later on, some developers created ways to combine the techniques further and display less complex screens or parts of apps with web languages like a web view, but then other more complex parts of the application with actual native code. This is referred to as a hybrid app or view. Recently, new frameworks have made it possible for someone that knows a common web language to make a fully native app for both iOS and Android nearly simultaneously. What makes this so exciting is that many engineers with little mobile experience have been able to write code in a language they've used for years that results in a fully native application on both iOS and Android. Although it's quite new and still not as powerful as coding natively, developer technologies like React Native are currently and will continue to change the way we develop applications. As a product manager, it's important to consider these sorts of recent advancements to determine the best way to build a product with your team. To sum it up, just remember that there's often more than one way to make a mobile application. You might only need a mobile website, but if you do want to go into the app stores eventually, there's a variety of options depending on the skills of the developers you're working with, as well as the technology that's available to them.